Good morning. Congratulations for being here this morning. Okay, so you can yell, scream, clap, do all that stuff. My name is Marlo Felton, and this is my wonderful husband, Chris Felton. So I want to see a show of hands. Yes, I'm talking to my husband. I want to see a show of hands. Who wants more money working for them in their life? Raise your hand. Okay, awesome. We are definitely talking to the right people. So who's married? Okay, good. Who's single? So the good news is that we will be speaking to all of you this morning about key concepts that we think are really important in regards to wealth. And we learned this throughout the years in the financial services industry, working with couples and individuals in all walks of life. We've learned a great deal from our clients over 15 years about wealth and how it's created. We've also learned a great deal from our personal transformation. So in about 6 years, we have more than doubled our income and through the Great Recession, and we've also learned a great deal from a number of financially independent mentors. So these are individuals that have been financially independent for decades and have kept their wealth. So we're going to share with you those key concepts. Is anybody ready for that? Interested? Okay, good. Awesome. So I'm going to share with you a story that I love to share. My husband cringes when I tell this story. But it was the night that everything really started to change for us. So I'm a recovered spender. Anybody like to spend money? Yeah, so do I. But I'm a recovered spender. So I entered our marriage about 7 years ago as a recovered spender. So I had turned over a new leaf. I decided that I was going to be a saver. So I started saving money. Then we got married. So we were doing pretty well. We were making good money. So we never really had the money conversation. So, we're good, right? We don't need to have the money conversation. We were talking to our clients about it, but we weren't talking to each other about it. Well, I gradually began to realize that I had married Sir Spends-A-Lot. I was really excited about that. And instead of us really having an adult conversation about that, I just got angrier and angrier, and more frustrated and more resentful. And this started to build and build and build until one night, I don't even remember what he did, but I'm sure it was something silly.
I do.
I got so mad at him, and I just had it, and I erupted. And I started rattling off all the things that I was sick and tired of. It was a long list, so it took a while. And then I threw my purse at him. And the good news is I'm a really bad aim, so I missed him. And then I went and I picked it up, and then I threw it at him again, and I missed him again. But it's okay, because he got the point. He knew I was mad. And then he asked me a really important question. He said, "So why are you married to me?" Wow. I was too blinded by frustration, anger, and fear to really think of all those reasons that I did. I'm getting choked up here. That I did marry my husband. And I thought, well, that's a really great question. And because that question forced me to shift my focus to the things that I did love about my husband, that's when we were able to look at possibilities and come to a place of looking for a solution, becoming solution-focused. And then we were able to take action together as a couple. I also realized that it had a lot to do with me as well. I had to take responsibility for my actions, because if he was such an idiot, what does that make me for marrying him, right? And I knew that I wasn't an idiot and he wasn't an idiot, so that was the wrong thing for me to think about. So it was then that we were able to shift and make a dramatic financial transformation in our life.
Clicker. She threw more than her purse that night. Right? There were some sharp objects. She denies it, right? Anyway, I was like Matrix up there, missing all that stuff. But we're excited to be here, and I'm going to take you through a process that literally I could spend 2 hours on, just this first section. I'm going to do it in 5 minutes. And so play along, participate, go through this exercise, and come back to it, would you? Because it's transformational. And this was, when this was facilitated to me, this was the beginning of a massive change mentally in our financial situation. And so what I want you guys to do is go ahead and make a list of things in your life financially that you wish were not there. Okay, things that you wish weren't there. Things you're frustrated about, you're angry about, you're stressed out about. What are those things in your life that you wish were not present? Just take 10, 15 minutes, maybe just a couple items. This is really eye-opening. Things in your life financially that you wish were not present. Everybody got a list? Okay. Now just put a check mark or star next to your maybe 2 or 3 biggies. Okay, just put a check mark next to your biggies. Like these ones are huge for me, and I have the most anger and frustration on them. Okay, cool? All right, at the bottom of that list, I want you to write this phrase: "This is it, I am satisfied," and draw an arrow up to your list. This is it, I'm satisfied, and draw an arrow up to your list. What's going on in your head as you do this? I'm not satisfied. What else? Totally okay to scream out some stuff. Don't tell me that. Right? It shouldn't be that way. Anything else? Right? What is some emotion that goes on with that? What are some feelings that go on with that? Anybody angry? Depressing? Frustrated? Resentment? Okay, what are these all forms of? Resistance. Have you ever heard of the phrase, "What you resist continues to persist"? Right? How many of you are trying to fix that stuff on your list? How long have you been trying to fix that stuff on your list? Has it been there a long time? Right? And so what happens is what you resist persists, and so everything's cause and effect, especially when it comes to money. Really anything in life, what we put out comes back, okay? So if I'm throwing out a boomerang, what happens with that boomerang? It comes back. If I'm putting poop on that boomerang, what am I throwing out? Poop-covered boomerangs, all right? What's coming back to me? Poop-covered boomerangs. And so that's what happens. It's called a negative feedback loop, right? And so our thoughts and our feelings really dictate our whole existence. And especially around money, there's a lot of emotion around it, right? And so when we have a thought and a feeling and we look at our environment, which is what is on your list, and the reason we know you're resisting it is because you wrote it down. Okay? And so when we're giving that attention, we don't like it, and we get feedback because it grows, and then we give more attention and feeling to it, and it just keeps going like this forever, and we try to fix it. And so my list was massive debt, her stress, okay, income dropping, big time overhead, and I had debt, massive debt forever, and I was trying to fix it. And so what I learned, and this is what's so huge, is what's on your list is you got to get to a point of absolute acceptance to what's on your list. We were in such resistance with what was going on in our lives financially that it just kept growing. And people try to change their lives from a state of resistance, and it never works. And it never will work. Okay, another form of resistance. How many of you are really good at beating yourselves up? Okay, all right, a little exercise. Hold your hammer. Everybody hold their hammer. All right, turn to your neighbor. Just pick one. Everyone's like doing this stuff. All right, give him the hammer. Say, "Don't give this back to me." All right, some of you ladies have big purses. Pull the hammer out of that one. Right? You will never get anywhere beating yourselves up. See, the paradox is this. When you accept, that's when change occurs. When you accept, that's when change occurs. You don't need to love what's on your list, but you have to accept it. Okay, and so what happens is you need to take action, which I'll get into after Marlo comes up, from three different modalities. One is acceptance, one is enjoyment, and one is enthusiasm. And all enthusiasm is joy combined with a goal. And so you don't need to love your list. You don't need to love fixing a flat tire in the middle of nowhere at night in the driving rain, but taking action from acceptance versus resistance is huge. So acceptance, enjoyment, or enthusiasm. And what we want to do today is we want to get you to start looking up above that, not ignore it, looking at going towards something versus moving away from it, and it'll change. That's what happened with us.
We're good at sharing clickers. So what you resist persists. So we've heard it many, many times, but what does it really mean? And Chris touched on it. We take all those things that we have all this energy on, and we carry it around with us everywhere we go. It becomes our pretty little pet, and we take it to the grocery store, we take it to work, we take it home with us at night, and it turns into this 10,000-pound weight. And that is why we believe that a lot of personal development doesn't work for people. And does anyone know someone that is always going to personal development seminars or doing all the right things, but nothing ever seems to change positively in their life? That's why. They're taking this 10,000-pound weight around with them, and what they need to do, what you need to do is let go. So it's about letting go. It's basically what I was doing with my husband. I was hanging on and taking all the anger and resentment I had on him with me everywhere I went. So it's like trying to run a marathon with a 10,000-pound weight, and it just doesn't work. So how do we let go? Gratitude is one of the best ways, one of the best tools that I know to shift away from what you have resistance on. It's basically what happened to me when my husband asked me that very important question, why are you married to me? Because I had to come up with a new list. I had my resistance list, then I had to create the things that I was grateful for in my husband. And so when I started focusing on all those characteristics of my husband I was unwilling to be without, that's how I was able to begin to let go of all of those things that I had resistance on. So it's a very, very powerful tool.
Thank God.
Yeah, he's a lucky man.
I know. Yeah. Yes. Yes, dear.
So we have our point A and we have our point B. So point A is where we are right now. Point B is where we want to go. So it's very important in order to get to where you want to go to clearly define both. So point A is sometimes difficult to clearly define because we might have some resistance on it. But nonetheless, we have to clearly define where we are. Most importantly, we have to take responsibility for where we are and come to acceptance of being there without beating ourselves up. Then clearly define point B, where we want to go, and in as much detail as possible, because many of us have goals. We want a better family life, we want a better career, we want more money, but that's not very specific. So you need to be as specific as possible. So what does that look like? And most importantly, what does that feel like in order to go from A to B? So on our website, couplesmoney.com, I go through an audio exercise. It's an audio download. If you want some information on it, I have a discount code available, 25% off today and tomorrow, that walks through an A to B exercise to really help you uncover that, and a visualization exercise as well. So really important. I know you all are setting goals right now.
Awesome. So when we set goals, when we're growing up, we watch these movies. Remember Rocky? Rocky Balboa, right? Didn't we love movies of Rocky and these heroes overcoming great odds and obstacles and facing adversity, and they're the underdogs and all that? We watch these movies all the time growing up, as we get older, and so there's a concept that we bring into our lives is called the hero's journey. And what the hero's journey is this, is we think we have to basically go through the valley of the shadow of death and go through all these horrible experiences in order to get success, or we don't deserve it. Okay? And so statues are erected of these people, these mighty heroes that came through all the, right? They go on Oprah and they get interviewed and we hear their stories. And so it's called the hero's journey, but we attach success having to look that way. And I believe because we get distracted with so many different things. I'm a golfer, not very good. So many components to a golf swing. I believe in swing thoughts. And I believe in 2014, having just a few simple swing thoughts that will make your life better. And one of mine is, what if it was easy? What if it was easier? And I get it. You're going to face obstacles and challenges and all that. But looking back, okay, I was working 80, 90 hours a week, stressing it, right? Because I had to work that much to deserve success. So our lives started changing. We doubled our income. We pulled way back on the hours that we worked because we started asking this simple question, what if it was easy? Okay, so don't do that hero's journey. Okay, make it easier, and it all comes back to goals. And here's what I used to do. I'd sit in meetings like this, beginning of the year. I'd write out 10, 15 goals I'd want to achieve, this incredible business plan, well written, and then by February, if I could even find it, okay, I had plenty of time, and so I'd pace. Plus, I had so many goals that my attention was everywhere. So I'd pace, I have plenty of time, I got 10 months, then we get to June, yeah, I still got time, I got 6 or 7 months to make it happen, and then September, October, November rolls around, I'm like, no way in heck is that going to happen? So I'm just going to abandon the goal, and then January comes and the delusion continues. And I go through over and over and over and over and over and over again. So you can have multiple goals, but one of the things is we coach a bunch of representatives across the country. One of the things we get them focused on is, what's the big one? What's the one big goal? My favorite question is, it's December 31st, 2014. You're feeling awesome about your financial situation. What's the one big goal that you'd want to have happen that would make all the difference? Okay, maybe it's an income goal, maybe it's a savings goal. So let's say you start a brand new business, you'd like to make 6 figures your first year. Well, you got all the time in the world to make 6 figures, right? Starting from zero. What you got to do is you got to move that goal up. March 31st, 2014, that's where we're focused, right? We set an annual goal, we got to move it up to the quarter. Okay, so if you want to make $100,000, you got to make $25,000 in that first quarter, right? And then you peel it back into a weekly game plan. You come up with a game plan and solutions and get brainstorming on making $2,000 a week. It's unbelievable what will happen to your business, but the one goal that we set that raised really the tide in our business and changed our lives forever was a savings goal. Nothing will impact your business and your life financially than having savings. You act different, you're calmer. When you have reserves, you're more creative, the stress level's down, you get money behind you, and so we set a savings goal and a big savings goal. And really, I had to come up with reasons, what I call compelling emotional reasons, okay? World-class performers know that goal setting's emotional. Average performers think that goal setting's logical. And so it always made sense to save money, but why wasn't I saving it? Why didn't attach any emotion to it? So when we set that goal, when you set a goal, one of the things you want to do is you want to identify the feeling that you're going after. The feeling that you're going after. And people, relief is one of the most powerful feelings out there. Everything we do in life, we're hoping to obtain a feeling. That's why you're here today. You're hoping to obtain some sort of feeling that's going to move your lives forward. And so when Marlo said, hey, we got to save some big money, and I had to reverse engineer that, I had to search for reasons. And so I'm always looking for reasons for my goals. I'm always writing those reasons down. My first reasoning for wanting to save money was I didn't want to have another purse-throwing, sharp knife, fork conversation with my wife ever again. Right? There were some things I want to do with my kids, Caden and Carson. We got a team, and so if we're winning, that means they're winning as well. And so I had to come up with these compelling emotional reasons, and really, there's 3 different ways, man, horse, to set goals. One is how we normally do it, which is we set goals from our pain or pleasure programming. Okay? We want this or we don't want this. And that's good, but statistics show there's about a 25% chance that you'll actually hit that goal when it's from I want this or I don't want this. What you need to do is you need to tie those goals back to people. If you're single, it's you, proving to yourself that you can make it happen financially, right? If you're married, it's your kids, right? It's your spouse or significant others or whatever, or it's tied back to an overall purpose, okay? What's the purpose that I'm going after? And so when you do that, your chances grow by about 3 times. You got a 75 to 80% chance of hitting your goal when it's tied back to a person or a purpose, and you're going after that feeling. And really, this, if you can see this, this is huge. Probability of completing a goal. You guys are going to hear so much information today. If you try to implement it today, it's not going to happen. You got to pull the 2 or 3 things that you're gonna implement right away, okay, or you'll get overwhelmed. And so pick the 2 or 3 things, but there's a 10% chance that you'll hit your goal if you learn of an idea today and that's about it, okay? 25% chance if you say, I'm going to do that. 40% if you decide when you'll do it, 50% if you plan how to do it, 65% if you make a commitment to someone you're going to do it, and there's a 95% chance you'll hit your goal if you have a specific accountability appointment with a person to whom you are committed. This works. This is gold. So what happens is we think of accountability as going and getting our butt kicked, right, with the principal. And that's not what it is. You need a second set of eyes on your life, second set of eyes on your business. And so what we did with our team is we sat them down and we said, listen, what's the one goal? Write it on a note card. Write one for you, write one for me. So they'll say, I'm increasing my income by $100,000 in 2014 because I said I would. And then we get the accountability card. We have a weekly accountability appointment where we're brainstorming. We're course correcting. We're working with them. We're going back. And the cool part is you might not hit your goal when you think you're going to hit it, but you'll hit it. You will absolutely hit it. So have an accountability appointment, right? Focus on that one goal, and it'll work. And then the other thing with goal setting is you got to get your subconscious on your side. Because when we set a goal, let's say you want to double your income this year. Okay, I'm going to make $200,000. Your subconscious goes, no, you're not. You don't know how to do that. Starts coming up, right? And so one of my favorite quotes out of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is, what a different story a man or woman would tell if they'd stand by desire long enough to become an all-consuming obsession. And so what we have to do is we have to plant the seed in our subconscious and get it on our side. Okay, and Marla's got an awesome guided visualization on our website that'll help you with this process. And so visualization is very powerful. There's over 200 studies have been done on it. We don't do it. 5 minutes a day of planting that seed because your mind's already going to have weeds of negativity. You don't have to do anything with that. But you got to go in and plant those thoughts in that fertile field. And so originally when we were turning our financial bus around, my first visualization was, it's Thursday. I'm focused on us saving like our next $10,000. So my visualization is Marlo's coming down the steps. She's in her ski outfit. It's a Thursday morning. She's going skiing. Why was that huge? Because she felt safe enough that she felt like she didn't have to work that day. She could actually go have fun. That means we had some reserves. The feeling of relief, right? And so if I did that right, I would literally wake up out of that visualization in tears, going, man, that's so powerful. And then my subconscious didn't know that that didn't happen. And so that seed got planted, and that desire got created. And then what we have that's guarded between our conscious mind and our subconscious mind, it's called your reticular activating system. And what it does is your subconscious mind seeks out and makes you aware of things that are going to move you towards your goal. Anybody got a car and you drove it off the lot and you saw that same car everywhere? Why was that? Well, you created a desire, and now your awareness is everywhere. You probably haven't seen that car again. Okay, Mercedes just didn't start making cars more because you decided it. It's everywhere. You got to get, so what happened was I started becoming aware of how I was wasting money. I became aware of opportunities to grow my business, and visualization is very powerful. And then when you're not visualizing, what are you doing inside your head? And this, right, what if? Got this from my good friend Jonathan Mansky. he said, what do you need to do to feel better? I'm like, we got to double our income. But if I said, hey, I got to double my income, my subconscious goes, no, you're not. No, you're not. But if I said, what if I double my income? What if I save more money? Your subconscious can't fight with a what if statement. So you can literally what if all the time, hundreds of times a day, and then that gateway starts opening up, and then your subconscious says, boom. And what if is a very powerful concept that you can apply in your life. And just what if? What if I can make this one more call? What if I could, right? What if I could be positive? What if? And then taking baby steps is really the key. Our brain is not smart enough to figure out the end result. Our brain just figures out the end result. You got to take action in all directions. If there's 100 doors of opportunity, we often get attached to it's going to be that door. You got to knock on 20, 30 different doors. Take action every day, okay? And then just do a simple course correction at the end of the week. What worked, what didn't work.
All right. So we have three major areas of our financial life. How we earn money, how we spend money, and how we save money. And we have good and bad programs in each one of these areas. And fortunately or unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that you have to grow into handling more money. How you treat the money you have now is a direct reflection of how you will treat more money. So it's important that you get in touch with your programs now in these areas, and it goes from left to right. And we have, like I said, good and bad. Get in touch with your bad programs in these areas. So you can also not out-earn bad money programs. I'm going to say it again. You cannot out-earn bad money programs. It's why you see professional athletes or celebrities or lottery winners, they get all this money and then it goes away because they never grew into accepting more money and they didn't get in touch with their bad money program. So I'm going to go through some examples of a couple different scenarios. So there's people that earn a lot of money, but they spend it all and then they never save any money. Chris and I know many people, some that make millions of dollars a year and have saved absolutely nothing because they have spent every single dime of it. Then there's the opposite of that. So those are the people that watch every penny, they're very frugal, they're very good at saving, and they are just systematic. They take little amounts of money and they save, and they're very diligent, but they never earn enough money to flow through that system to reach their goals and dreams. So we're going to do a really fun exercise, and this requires some participation. We're going to get in touch with your money programming. So bad money programming kind of sounds like this. You see that the little voice starts doing this. So it usually sounds like, oh, that won't work because, or I can't do that, that won't work, or oh, that works for them, but it won't work for me. So when you hear yourself doing that, you're going to yell, shut up. So when I point, everybody's going to yell, shut up.